Hello everyone. In today's topic, we'll be dealing with your urea cycle, and it's a very important topic in biochemistry, and especially in the proteins. And even in your dental pulse, there are around 5 to 10 questions from this topic. I'm now trying to make this topic easier for you so that you can understand it further. So basically, urea is the end product of your protein metabolism. Means whatever you have, you take the protein in your diet, the end product is urea, because you know that amino acids are the building blocks for your proteins. So nitrogen of the amino acid is toxic to the body, and that nitrogen is finally converted into urea. So amino acids, proteins break down into amino acid, and nitrogen of the amino acid finally gets converted into urea. Urea is basically synthesized in the liver. So it can be asked as an important MCQ that where is the urea formed? Urea is not formed in every tissue. Urea cycle is specific to the liver because arginase is an enzyme that converts arginine to urea, and that is present only in the liver. That's why urea is synthesized only in the liver and is transported to the kidneys for the excretion in the urine. So whenever urea is formed, that is transported to the kidneys for the excretion in the urine. That is why whenever we look for the kidney function test and all, we look for the urea test, that is the urea being excreted properly or not. So that we can assess the function of the kidney, because urea is excreted by the kidney. It's not excreted in the form of your salivation or sweating, some secretion, anything like that. It is excreted basically in the urine. So this cycle was elucidated by your Krebs and Henzeliet. That is why it is known as Krebs and Henzeliet cycle. So an important MCQ that can be asked, that which of the following is known as Krebs Henzeliet cycle? Answer would be your urea cycle. Some people get confused with the Krebs because Krebs cycle is your TCA cycle. No, Krebs Henzeliet cycle is your urea cycle. Urea has got two amino groups, and amongst them one is derived from the ammonia, that is basically from your proteins or amino acid, and another is from a special amino acid that is known as aspartate. So this can again be asked as an MCQ that from where the two NH2 groups have been derived from the urea. Answer would be your NH2 groups. One is derived from ammonia and another is derived from aspartic acid. So urea cycle is basically a 5-step cyclic process with the 5 distinct enzymes. So you have to remember in it, they can be asked that how many enzymes are used in the urea cycle. Answer would be your 5. 2 enzymes are located in the mitochondria and 3 are located in the cytosol. So this again can be asked that this reaction takes place where, in the mitochondria or in the cytosol. So in the next slide you will be getting to know that initial 2 reactions takes place in the mitochondria and the last 3 in the cytosol. Like synthesis of the carbamyl phosphate and citrulline takes place in the mitochondria, and synthesis of arginosuccinate, your cleavage of arginosuccinate, and your formation of urea takes place in the cytosol. So this can be individually asked as a question, that where this reaction is going to take place. Initial 2 are going to take place in your mitochondria and last 3 in the cytosol. So here is a cycle, if you can appreciate it, and a very small and very easy topic. So synthesis of the carbamyl phosphate is your first reaction, if you can appreciate. So here you are going to form your carbamyl phosphate. So this is a carbamyl phosphate that is forming, and the enzyme that is required in its formation is carbamyl phosphate synthetase 1. So important point that you have to remember is that first thing is that this is an irreversible process. Another thing is that this is a rate limiting process, and another thing is that this is a committed step in the urea synthesis. Committed step means without this step urea formation cannot be there. So this is a committed step in your urea synthesis. So enzyme that is involved is carbamyl phosphate synthetase 1. Fine. So if this enzyme does not occur, or if this enzyme is inhibited, there is a disease that is known as hyperammonemia type 1. So I am giving you the diseases with each step again, so that you can remember that due to deficiency of which enzyme which disease is going to occur. So due to the deficiency of carbamyl phosphate synthetase 1, there can be hyperammonemia type 1. Clear? Next is the formation of your citrulline. Here is the formation of the citrulline, and this takes place in the presence of enzyme ornithine transcarboxylase, and whenever this ornithine combines with your carbamyl phosphate that has been formed in the first step, in the presence of enzyme ornithine transcarbamylase, there is a formation of citrulline. And if there is a deficiency of this enzyme that is known as ornithine transcarbamylase, there is formation of a disease that is known as hyperammonemia type 2. Again, an important MCQ that can be asked. So here ornithine that have been used along with carbamyl phosphate synthetase is again formed through this cycle and again reused in this cycle only. So this is an important point you should be knowing. Another important point you should be knowing is that this citrulline that is formed here, it is transported from the mitochondria to the cytosol by your carrier system that is going to take it out. It is going to take it out from the mitochondria to the cytosol. Next step is that your synthesis of your arginosuccinate. So here comes the synthesis of your arginosuccinate. So citrulline that is formed that combines with the aspartic acid. Fine, ATP is used here. Here ATP is used and it leads to the formation of arginosuccinate. So this is an arginosuccinate. So here whenever it is going to combine with the aspartic acid, this is going to provide the second ammonia group. First ammonia group initially when carbon dioxide plus ammonia was attached, that it was there, and second from your aspartic acid. So from these two groups the ammonia in the urea comes. So the enzyme that is involved in this reaction is arginosuccinate synthase, and if there is a deficiency of this enzyme arginosuccinate synthase, there is a disease that is known as citrullinemia, because citrulline gets more in the blood. Whenever citrulline gets more in the blood, it leads to the citrullinemia. Fine. And another important point for this reaction is that it requires ATP. So now when your arginosuccinate is formed, when arginosuccinate is formed, it is broken down by the enzyme arginosuccinase. So you should be knowing which enzyme is occurring in this fourth reaction is arginosuccinase, and it is going to break down this arginosuccinate into your arginine and your fumaric acid. So here arginine is produced and here this fumaric acid is coming out of the cycle. So one byproduct is there that is coming out is your fumaric acid. So fumaric acid is coming out. This fumaric acid again goes and it's again utilized in your Krebs cycle or the TCA cycle. So arginine के बारे में you should remember that it is an intermediate precursor for the urea, because arginine further leads to the formation of urea. Another important thing here you should be knowing that whenever there is a deficiency of enzyme arginosuccinase, there is arginosuccinic aciduria. So disease here that happens because of this enzyme deficiency is arginosuccinic aciduria. Here citrullinemia, here hyperammonemia type 2, here hyperammonemia type 1. So it is very important. Next here comes your arginine that is formed in the fourth step, and here in the presence of arginase, arginine is going to give you urea and as well as ornithine. So ornithine is further again utilized in your urea cycle, and urea comes here that is transported from the liver to the kidney for excretion. Another important thing that you should be knowing here is that this arginase enzyme is present only in the liver, while rest four enzymes, that is your carbamyl phosphate synthetase or ornithine transcarbamylase or argine succinate synthase or your arginosuccinase, these four enzymes are present in other tissues also, but this arginase enzyme is present only in the liver. For this reason your arginine synthesis can occur in various tissues, but your urea production is only in the liver. So urea is formed exclusively in the liver. Another important point that you should be knowing is that in the deficiency of the enzyme, again arginase, arginine will be more, and the disease will be hyperarginemia. So the disease and its involved enzyme you should be knowing. So this was all about your urea cycle. One amino acid from the ammonia, one amino acid again from your aspartic acid. There are 5 reactions, 5 enzymes, and your 2 ATP are involved here in the first step, and 1 ATP that gets converted into AMP, but it's written according to the book that this is also 2 ATP. So total involvement of 4 ATP is there in the form of MCQ. Sometimes it's asked how much ATP are used. 2 here and 2 here, so total 4 ATP, 5 enzymes, 5 reaction, individual enzymes, and their deficiency causing individual diseases. I have told you, I'll be explaining you in the next table also. Fumaric acid forms a link with the TCA cycle, and arginine is urea is produced only in the liver. These things you should be knowing. You will be able to solve the MCQ. So urea cycle is an irreversible cycle. This is again very important. This is an irreversible cycle. No step is reversible in it, and it consumes total 4 ATP. 2 ATP are utilized for the synthesis of the carbamyl phosphate, that is your first reaction, and 1 ATP gets converted to AMP to produce arginosuccinate, which equals to ATP. Hence 4 ATP are actually consumed in this. So an MCQ can be asked, how much ATPs are used in this urea cycle? Answer would be your 4 ATPs are consumed. So metabolic defects, again let me make you revise that hyperammonemia type 1 is because of the deficiency of enzyme carbamyl phosphate synthetase 1. Hyperammonemia 2 is because of the deficiency of your enzyme ornithine transcarbamylase. Citrullemia is because of the deficiency of enzyme arginosuccinase. And your arginosuccinic acid urea is because of the deficiency of enzyme arginosuccinase. Hyperarginemia is because deficiency of enzyme arginase. So very important, even you will find these enzymes involved and diseases involved in your carbohydrate, lipids, in everywhere you are going to find them out. So interaction between the TCA and urea cycle is like this, that say this is an urea cycle, and urea cycle here is producing fumaric acid. That fumaric acid enters into the TCA cycle. You can appreciate it from the figure, and this fumaric acid that gets converted into malic acid, and malic acid gets converted into oxaloacetate, and that oxaloacetate further is involved in your TCA cycle, as well as that gets converted into aspartic acid, which is utilized here again in the urea cycle. So urea cycle is taking one thing from the TCA cycle and also giving one thing to the TCA cycle. So this is an important. Urea cycle consumes 4 ATP minus 4 ATP, and TCA cycle produce 12 ATP, that is a plus 12 ATP. So TCA cycle gives you 12 ATP, urea cycle utilizes 4 ATP. So this is how this is going to take place. This is how TCA cycle is united to your urea cycle. So I hope the things are very much clear to you, the cycle, the main points, the major points, and MCQs. So here I am ending. Thank you.